Hey, I am Grace, and I am 34 years old. My life's been a wild ride for like 7 years now. It all kicked off when my husband Ricky had a mini stroke while at work 7 years ago. Back then we were only married for a year. I still remember that call from his office. I was panicking, so I rushed to the hospital, and the doctor hit me with the worst news ever. Ricky was paralyzed and could not walk. I was in total disbelief. I had to gather all my strength for both of us. So I took some time off work to be there for Ricky. We lived in this cozy little 2-room apartment with a living room. It was tight, but we were saving up for our dream house. We had everything planned out, big dreams and all that jazz. But then, life threw us a major curveball. With all the medical bills piling up and Ricky's walking therapy, we had to dip into our savings. Money just flew out the window, and it was rough. I could not work for a while because Ricky needed me. But our bank account was feeling the pressure. We were slowly running out of money, and that is when I knew I had to get back to work somehow. That is when Ricky had this idea. His mum, Ruth, should move in with us. Apparently it would make things easier for me. Ricky would have someone trustworthy to help him with all his appointments and therapy, taking care of him while I could start working again since we needed the money. Ruth moved in with us sometime later. For almost 7 years, it feels like I've been living the same day on repeat. I was in the management wing of a hotel, heading operations. The pay was not half bad, but it meant long hours and no time for myself or my husband. I was like a 24/7 hotline for the hotel people. I would leave our place at 8 in the morning, and who knows when I would be back. Weekends? I did not even know what those were anymore. My social life? Non-existent. All my friends faded away because I was so consumed with all of this. This was not the picture-perfect life I dreamed of, but my love for Ricky kept me going. My life was all about hoping Ricky would get better. You know? That was my light at the end of the tunnel. So I sucked it up, kept pushing forward and tried my best to make it work. I had been an absent wife for most of our marriage. My life revolved around work and I had no friends or any social life whatsoever. Meanwhile, Ricky, my husband, still had his buddies who would come to visit him from time to time. Even his sister Sylvie dropped by to see her mum and brother occasionally. But as for me, I had not seen my parents in ages. I was missing out on life so badly, and it hit me hard sometimes. But then, some time ago, something happened that flipped the script and changed my life for the better. The hotel I worked at was going to be closed for a week for some renovations. Man, was I excited for that week off. Finally, I thought I would have some time for Ricky. I wanted to accompany him to his appointments, take him out for a stroll in the park, just be there by his side, and compensate a little for all the lost time. So I talked to Ruth about my plans. Hey Ruth, since I have this week off work, I was thinking of taking Ricky to his therapy and then hitting the park for some quality time together. You know, just enjoying the day. Oh, honey, you have been working so hard. It's all cool. I'll take Ricky out. You just stay home and have some much-needed you time. Rest up and all. You deserve it. It's no trouble, honestly. Hey, I can tell work's been stressing you out for ages. Maybe you should just stay at home and unwind, or even better, why not hang out with your girl pals somewhere? It is a good idea, but the problem is that I've kind of lost touch with my friends recently. Doing something out of the blue might be a bit weird, you know? Hold up, I've got an idea! How about you hang out with Sylvie? You two could hit the beach, grab some lunch and just take it easy. I could text her for you. I'm sure she'd be up for it. Oh, okay. That sounds fun. Maybe we can do this therapy thing some other time. Thanks for being so thoughtful. I really want to make the most of today, you know? I know. Today, Ricky's all mine. You need some well-deserved holidays, trust me. You have your fun with Sylvie. Yeah, sure. I will call her. Sylvie and I hung out for the day. We went to the mall, did some shopping, and ended up getting some stuff. Later that day, when Ruth and Ricky returned home, they told me that Ricky's therapist would not be available for a whole week. I did not know what to make of it. The rest of the week I took Ricky out for walks in the park in his wheelchair. It felt like forever since I had such a normal and enjoyable time. By Saturday, I was feeling extra bold and decided to invite Sylvie and some of Ricky's buddies over. We had a little get-together, and it was just so good to see Ricky having fun with his friends and family. Then Sunday came around, and that was usually the day Ricky went with his mum to the doctor for his weekly checkup. I got all dressed up, ready to accompany them. "Hey, are you guys ready to go?" "Oh, I was not sure you were coming with us today, dear. Were you aware of it, Ricky?"
"No, I did not."
I saw Ruth and Ricky exchange glances at each other. It seemed like they did not want me there, but I still had some convincing to do. "Honey, I really want to be there to support you and your mum. You've been managing all this on your own for far too long. Even you, Ruth, I can only imagine how tiring it is with all those frequent appointments. I'm not saying you have to stay behind at home, but please just let me come along." "Well, you know what? I need an hour and then we can leave. I want to take a shower." "Oh yeah, take all the time you need." I did not let their uncertainty bother me. I was just chilling in the living room, waiting for them, when I overheard some hushed voices coming from Ruth's room. A few minutes later, Ricky rolls out of there in his wheelchair.
"Honey, Mum just told me the hospital called and my doctor cancelled on all his patients because he was needed for an emergency surgery."
"Seriously? I have no clue what's going on with your therapist and doctor this week. It's just strange that everyone's unavailable right now."
"You're overthinking things, you know."
"Babe, I'm genuinely worried. Is there something you're not telling me? Are you keeping something about your health from me? It's been a long time since I checked in with your doctors."
"Seriously, everything's fine. Just drop it, okay?"
And so I did. But then I had this gut feeling that something was off. Things just did not sit right with me. So I decided to keep my mouth shut for the time being and observe more closely. This was not the first time something like this had happened. Over the last 7 years, I had a few random off days where I accompanied Ruth and Ricky to their doctors. But as I really started thinking about it, I realised that it had been a long time since I had actually gone along with Ricky anywhere. There was always some excuse or another, and it got me wondering, why weren't they taking me along? Was everything okay? Were they hiding something from me? I decided to hide 2 cameras, one in each of their rooms, to see what the heck was going on. It felt weird and wrong to invade their privacy like that, but I needed to know the truth. The following week, I pleaded with my boss to let me off early, and thankfully he agreed. On my way back, I made a quick stop to buy a pair of small security cameras. I got home around 4 in the afternoon, and Ruth was in the middle of getting ready to the grocery shopping. It was perfect timing. I suggested to Ruth that she take Ricky with her and get him some fresh air. She agreed, and off they went. With the coast clear, I sprang into action. I had bought too many spy cameras, and their batteries will last for a maximum of 24 hours before needing a recharge. My fingers were crossed that these cameras would gather enough information to help me understand what was going on. I had to wait until tomorrow evening to see what they captured. I carefully hid one camera in Ruth's room and the other in Ricky's room. When I finally returned, Ruth was busy doing the dishes in the kitchen and Ricky was napping in our room. It was the perfect opportunity to check the footage from the cameras I had set up. I sneaked into Ruth's room first and retrieved the camera. Then I moved on to our room and did the same. My hands were trembling as I opened the app on my phone where everything was recorded. I decided to check the footage from our room first. I pressed play, and what I saw left me utterly stunned. There was Ricky, standing on his own 2 feet. I could not believe my eyes. He had been able to walk all this time, and they had been keeping it from me. The shock and betrayal hit me like a ton of bricks. They had been lying about such a monumental thing, and I could not wrap my head around why they would do that. I quickly moved on to check the footage from Ruth's room. As I watched, it became evident that she had been home all day, going in and out of her room, even during the time of Ricky's supposed therapy, because obviously there was no therapy, and then I skipped over to the part where Ruth and Ricky were having a conversation.
I do not know how long we can keep up this charade, Mum.
Relax, Ricky, we have been doing this for years, and Grace has not suspected a thing. With the speed she has been working at, we will not need much longer. By the way, I just transferred this month's money from your account to my account. I have everything under control.
Mum, it just feels so sketchy to hide this from Grace. She's busting her butt for us, you know?
You're forgetting why we started this in the first place. We've got the mortgage on our house to pay. Now, where would Sylvie and I go if we lost the house? Plus, if we can make some extra money, we can help Sylvie get her life back on track. You're doing this for your mum and sister. You know how hard it has been since your dad died? That's been the only way I could keep our lives from falling apart.
I understand, Mum. I was starting to have second thoughts about it for a moment. Also, don't you think Sylvie will question how we suddenly have so much extra money?
We'll come up with something, and you better not breathe a word of this to your sister. You know how strong her sense of ethics is. She wouldn't accept any of this money if she knew where it came from. Once we're out of this jam, maybe you can finally sort out your own stuff. Who says you're stuck with Grace forever? With the cash on hand, you could finally kickstart that business you've been dreaming about and start a new life.
Well, I need to mull it over, but yeah, maybe I should give it a shot.
It was a lot to take in. I had been living a lie all that time, and it seemed like Ruth and Ricky were putting on this grand act behind my back. I had given my heart and soul to that marriage, only to discover they were scheming and stealing from me. I knew Ruth took money from our joint account for hospital and therapy bills. But it turned out they had been lying about it all along. It was a bitter pill to swallow, and I could not just let them get away with it. They had taken so much from me. It was time to take their lives away too. They had everyone fooled, even Sylvie and Ricky's buddies. It was like a crazy betrayal, and I could not let them off the hook that easily. They deserved to be called out for their lies, and I had the perfect plan in mind. I wanted to expose their deeds publicly and give them a taste of their own medicine. Sunday was just a couple of days later, and I already had told my boss I needed the day off for something super important. I could not wait to spill their dirty secret and let everyone know the truth about Ricky and Ruth. It was time to take back what was rightfully mine and make them pay for their deceit. Sunday finally arrived, and I had everything set up for the big reveal. I invited Sylvie, along with a bunch of Ricky's old buddies from the office and some of his friends too, for a dinner gathering. I told them I had a special announcement to make later in the evening. Ruth and Ricky asked me about it, but I said it would be better to share the news when everyone was present. After we all had dinner, it was time for the final showdown. This was my moment to take back control and expose their lies. I gathered everyone around the TV, cleared my throat before speaking, and asked them to take a seat on the couch. I want to thank you all for being here today, and not just today, but for the past 7 years. I know it is tough when you receive news like this, when someone you love is paralyzed, be it your husband, brother, or friend. You feel so sorry for them and wish you could do more to help. And that's where Ruth stepped in. She went above and beyond, selflessly moving in with us and taking care of Ricky, attending all his appointments while I was at work. But there's something you all should know. Nobody deserves to be kept in the dark. Then I grabbed the TV remote and hit play, revealing the truth I caught on camera. Ricky was walking around like he was not paralyzed at all. The whole room went quiet, and everyone was shaken. I mean, who wouldn't be? It was proof they had been lying a lot. As the footage rolled, you could see Ruth and Ricky talking about their sneaky little plan to steal from our joint accounts. It was all out there for everyone to see. No more hiding. No more lies. I turned to face them, and you could tell they were feeling guilty as hell. The truth was right there on the screen, and they could not talk their way out of it. It was a total oh snap moment, and they knew they were in deep trouble. No more pretending. No more acting like everything is fine.
How could you? Everybody, don't you see? She's the one who has gone completely crazy. She has been snooping on us, playing detective or something. I always knew there was something off about her. Spending all her time at that damned hotel she works at, doing whatnot. It's like she's obsessed. Ruth started laughing hysterically. Ruth, seriously? Are you for real right now? Your whole charade has been busted wide open, and you're still trying to play the victim? Well, maybe the cameras were extreme, but I had been desperate to figure out what was happening behind my back, and if it meant sneaking around like a secret agent, then I was all in. It's time to own up to your lies. Mom! Ricky! Seriously? What on earth made you go down this path? I don't even recognize you anymore. You're like imposters. Honey, I know it seems crazy, but we did it to keep our family afloat. You know we have to pay the mortgage. We were planning to help you out too, I promise. Oh, spare me the excuses, Mum. I can't believe you'd even think of dragging me into this mess. And you, Ricky? How could you let it come to this? Look, can we just handle this in private? There is no need to make a scene in front of everyone. My friends are here. No, Ricky. We are doing this here and now. I especially deserve answers from you. We were supposed to be a team, partners in everything. How could you betray me like this? How long have you been deceiving me? Deceiving all of us? Grace is right. Just be real for once. I'm so ashamed to even be associated with you right now. You're all ganging up on us. But you do not understand. We had financial troubles and I did not know what else to do. It just got out of hand. Out of hand! That is your excuse. You manipulated me, robbed me of my trust, and let me believe you were taking care of Ricky while I was working my arse off for both of you? Tell me, how long have you been faking your paralysis for? Well, around 3 years into therapy I could walk again. Are you kidding me? You've been lying to me for 4 whole years, and that was your grand plan? Steal from me and then get rid of me so you and your mum could live it up with the stolen money? Grace, it did not start like that, I swear. It was just a temporary thing, and then I got scared about coming clean. I did not mean for it to go this far. Well, dinner is over now. Everyone, thank you for being here. As for you, Ruth and Ricky, I need you to pack your bags and leave first thing tomorrow. Also, I expect you to transfer all the stolen money back into my bank account before I take this to court. Grace, please. I know I messed up, but can we talk about this? No, Ricky, there is nothing left to talk about. I cannot be with someone who does that to me. The divorce papers will be coming your way soon. That's what you wanted after all. Exposing them in front of everyone like that was absolutely epic. All those years of pretending, lying and stealing caught up to them in one big embarrassing moment. It was like a movie scene, seriously. I played my cards right, and now even Sylvie, their own family member, is on my team. Ricky gave me back my money, and while he was doing that, he tried to convince me to lend him some money, but I didn't buy into any of that. Sylvie told me how Ricky is struggling to get a job, and now Ricky, as well as Ruth, are left in the dust. If they don't pay off the mortgage within 2 months, they're going to lose the house. I feel like I have stepped into a world of countless possibilities. Living a life free from all that toxicity is like a breath of fresh air. I'm thriving in the new apartment that I bought, and it's like a whole new chapter has begun. I'm also slowly building up relationships with my family and old friends. I'm making up for all those times I said no to hanging out with the awesome people at work. Now, I'm all about saying yes to new opportunities that come my way.